The following clip is from the North to South Show, live every Monday and Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we talk SEC football everything. Now, we'd love to have you out for next show, but for now, hit that like button down below, hit that subscribe button, and enjoy this clip. I don't know how to put this, but is Georgia in a do or die mode right now? Is Georgia in a win now mode or win never mode? Because, first of all, what I want to ask, especially if you're a Georgia Bulldogs fan, I ask you to do me a favor and drop down below in the comments what your expectation is for Georgia this season, because I'm pretty sure, at least if I was a Georgia fan, which I'm not, obviously, I'm a Gamecocks fan, so my expectation of my team is going to be way different than your team, but what is your expectation for this season? I would bet a lot of money that at least 95% of Georgia Bulldog fans say that this team is ready to win a national championship. The expectation is to win a national championship, or we don't care. Like, anything short of a national championship, winning a national championship, that doesn't just mean making it, is going to be sold short for Georgia this season. And I just want to talk about that. Is this Georgia team in a do or die mode? Because I look at this team very comparably to, let's say, Oklahoma, because Oklahoma is kind of in the same situation where you're getting your last year with your quarterback who you have determined is your guy. Georgia's in the same boat. JT Daniels is their guy in Georgia. This is his last season. Spencer Rattler is their guy in Oklahoma. Both of their defenses are lined up to be really, really good this season, and obviously you're going to lose key pieces on both defenses going into next season. The running back room is there for both teams. The wide receivers are there for both teams. Everything just seems to line up for both of these teams to be able to go out and win now. Now, I look at teams like Alabama and Clemson, and let's say, if Alabama and Clemson, let's say they both make it to the playoff, but let's say they don't win the national championship. Let's say one of them makes it to the national championship and they lose. Let's say one of them loses in the semifinal. The fans of those teams aren't going to be terribly worried about their program. They're not going to throw a huge fit and be concerned about the future of their program. They're not going to be going after Dabo Swinney's head. They're not going to be going after Nick Saban's head because they got to a playoff appearance and weren't able to win. Now, I look at Georgia and Oklahoma on the other hand, and this is their season to go out and win. You have everything pieced together for them, and I know a lot of people, let's say, if some crazy thing happens in Georgia, let's say doesn't even make it to the SEC championship or falls short in the SEC championship and isn't able to go on to the playoffs, I know a lot of people are going to be calling out for Kirby Smart's head. If Oklahoma, let's say, doesn't make it to the playoff in some crazy fashion, again, I think that Oklahoma is my national championship favorite right now. If they don't make it to the playoff, I think a lot of people will be going after his head. But does what happened this season really affect the trajectory of this program and how Georgia's going and everything like that? Because Georgia is going to be one of the most competitive teams in the country right now. And from what I want to say coming out, I do think that Georgia is in a do or die mode where it's either you win this year or you're going to have to wait a while to win. But then you look at the realism of everything. You look at the future classes that Georgia's being able to bring in. And I know, here's the other side of the argument that I'm about to bring up. Just your classes, just the score, the overall 24/7 score, the overall Rivals score, whatever you want to call it, how many 5 stars you bring in does not always translate to how good your football team is on the field. 3 stars turn into 5 stars and 5 stars turn into 3 stars. Coaching matters. The position that you put your players in matters and everything like that. And just because you have what it looks like on paper, good recruiting classes coming in the next future seasons, doesn't always mean that you're going to have the same caliber team that you think that you would have in the next 3 years or something like that when all those players turn to juniors and seniors and everything like that. So interesting stuff to think about there. Georgia is in this position where the stars are lining up for Georgia. Everything is lined up for Georgia this season to go out and win a national championship. And again, if I was a Georgia fan right now in this moment, and I knew that we wouldn't win the national championship, if I could see into the future, I would be extremely disappointed because it is do or die time. And that's kind of what I'm trying to get at in this video. That's what I'm currently fighting with myself about right here in this moment. It's not like this isn't a planned segment. This isn't a scripted segment. I don't have any notes. My computer is completely closed if you see this. I'm just talking off the top of my head and currently fighting with myself basically for your guys' entertainment. And the fact that I would be disappointed if I'm a Georgia fan if they don't win this season because everything is shaped up. What I'm trying to argue here is, if Georgia doesn't win this season, is that it for Kirby Smart? Is that it for Georgia football? Is Georgia football going to completely go into the ground, and are they just cursed? Are they never going to win a national championship if they don't win this season? If Georgia doesn't win this season, I think that their chances of winning the season after that are going to be a bit slimmer, although you do have Brock Vandergriff, and then you're going to have Gunnar Stockton coming in, so you still got some talent at the quarterback position. But I look like 2-3 years down the road. Does this season and how this season goes really affect how, let's say, a Kirby Smart team would do in 2 or 3 years with talent? Sometimes in football, the ball just bounces the wrong way, and that costs you a game. Let's say in the playoff, ball just bounces the wrong way on an onside kick or something like that, and it just changes the complexion of the game. Your team loses. Are you going to fire Kirby Smart just because of a way the ball was kicked and a way the ball bounced? No. So my kind of point of this whole spiel and everything like that, this whole rant is, yes, everything is set on the table for Georgia right now to go out and win a national championship. I've said that all along this whole video. But if they don't win, I don't think that means that Kirby Smart deserves to be fired just because he couldn't finish off. Now, the way that you don't win the national championship, let's say Georgia doesn't even win the East. That's a completely different scenario. If with this talent and everything that you have on this team, you don't win the SEC East, completely different scenario than you make it to the SEC championship, you play Alabama, you play Oklahoma, a team like that, and it's a really hard-fought game, and you just ball bounces the wrong way, something bad happens, maybe an injury happens or something like that. Are you going to fire Kirby Smart because of that? No. Is there going to be disappointment among the fans? 110%. I would be completely disappointed if I was a Georgia fan and they don't win the national championship right now. But what I'm saying is, what I'm going to finish this whole video off with, or this whole segment off with, is just because you don't win this season if you're Georgia doesn't mean that you can't win 2, 3, 4 years down the road. There is still plenty of talent. There's still plenty of upside within this football program. You just have to remain hopeful, but I do think that Georgia is in a very, very good position to walk away with the national championship this season.